on page 9. And again, these are proportions. And we use what we call the cross product method. And product means that you are multiplying. So you're just going to cross, multiply, and solve for the variable. Okay, so we're going to start with question number 1. Now, when you cross and multiply, it doesn't matter which way you cross first. So I'm just going to go ahead and cross. I'll just cross this way first. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to have 9p because I'm multiplying 9 times p. Bring down my equal sign and cross the other way. 49. And now it looks like an equation. So you divide by 9. So p equals 49 over 9. You don't need to change that and divide to get a decimal. Just make sure it's a reduced fraction. Okay. Number 2, when you cross again, and it doesn't matter which way you cross first, I'm going to cross this way. Notice at the bottom there's an x plus 2, so technically it looks like this. So that means you have to multiply 4 times both terms at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to cross the other way. Multiply 2 times 6 is 12. So that's going to give me 4x plus 8 equals to 12. And then you just solve it like you would an equation. And x equals to 1. So this will be your Blackboard assignment. After you're finished with the quiz today, you're just going to go to Blackboard and you'll have about 10 questions to practice on your own. Okay, because I'm going to do these with you first. All right, in number 3, cross again. It doesn't matter. So this will be 3 times b plus 8 equals 2 times b is 2b. So this will give me 3b. I'm going to distribute the 3 plus 24 equals to 2b. So in this case, since we have variables on both sides, we already know how to do that. We're going to get all our variables to one side. So I'm going to move the 3b to the other side. So I'm going to have 24 equals to negative 1b. So then you divide by that negative 1. And you have b equals to negative 24. On to question number 4. We're going to cross. Doesn't matter which way you go. So this will give us 9 times x plus 1. Cross the other way will give us 6 times x plus 3. Okay. So we'll distribute and get 9x plus 9 on the left. Distribute on the right, we'll get 6x plus 18. And so now we're at the point where we want to get all our variables to one side and all our constants to one side. So I'm going to move the 6x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract. That's the subtraction property of equality. So that'll give us 3x plus 9 equals to 18. All right, then I'm ready to subtract 9. That'll give us 3x equals to 9. And then divide by 3, x equals to 3. Okay. Question number 5. And I'm going to erase a little bit of this so I can have some space. So in question number 5, notice there's a negative here. So you got to be very careful with that. So take the negative with the numerator. Okay, so don't, and please don't make the mistake with taking it with the numerator and taking it with the denominator, because then you have just made it positive. So just take it and have a rule of thumb that is going to go with the number at the top. Okay, so we're going to take it with this number here. All right, so let's go ahead and cross multiply. So when I cross this way, I'm going to have 7 times m plus 5. And when I cross the other way, remember I said I'm going to take the negative with the 5. So negative 5 times the 4m will give me negative 20m. All right, so take that negative sign with the numerator. And now I'm ready to distribute this and get 7m plus 35 equals to negative 20m. Subtract 7m. So I'll have 35 equals to negative 27m, and then divide by the negative 27. Now, is there a number that can go into 27 and 35? So we'll leave it as negative 35 over 27. So you can just bring this negative out in front of the entire fraction. Okay, it doesn't need to just stay in the denominator. Okay, just bring it out front. Now, of course, if you ended up with like a negative 35 over a negative 27, you would say a negative divided by a negative is a positive, right? All right, let's move on to number 6. All right, so in question number 6, it doesn't matter which way you cross first. So I'm going to cross this way and say 8 times x minus 9 equals to 2x. So 8x minus 72 equals 2x. I'm going to move my x's over, so I'm going to do the opposite of a positive 8 by subtracting 8 from both sides. So when I bring down the left side, I'm going to bring it down as a negative 72 equals to a negative 6x. I'm going to divide by negative 6. And what is 6 into 72? Positive what? 12. And that's where you have that negative divided by a negative is a positive. All right. So I'm going to let you do a little practice now. So if you guys would do questions 7 and 8, and then we will check them together in a few minutes. We're going to move on to questions 9 and 10. Okay, we'll finish up with those two. Okay, so I'm going to cross this way, and I'm going to have 8 times p minus 1 on that side. And that's a negative 7, is that right? So that's going to be negative 7 when I cross the other way times p minus 2. Okay, so that's going to give us 8p minus 8 equals negative 7p. And look, this is going to change to a positive 14 because a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, now I'm ready to move everything to one side. So I'm going to add the 7p to the other side because that's the opposite of a negative 7p. So that's going to give me 15 p's on this side. Okay, then we're going to add 8. So what's 14 plus 8? Okay, divide by 15, and I don't think we can reduce that. Okay, so we'll just leave it as 22 fifteenths. All right, last one. Okay, last one. That'll be 10 questions we practice. So we're going to cross this way and put 8 times 7x plus 10. Cross the other way, 4 times 7x plus 4. Okay. Distributive property, 56x plus 80 equals 28x plus 16. Okay, so this is where I need to get all my variables to one side, all my constants to the other. So let's subtract 28x. Yes, 28. All right, so we'll have 28x plus 80 equals to 16. Okay, so what is 16 minus 80? Okay, negative 64. I could definitely reduce this because I see they're even numbers right away. So now you can punch this into the calculator, negative 64 divided by 28, hit enter, and then go to your math key and hit enter twice. It'll reduce the fraction for you. Who can tell me what it reduced to? Yeah. Negative 16 sevenths. And again, you can do that right with your graphing calculator, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the agenda. So we just completed page 9. You're going to do the choose your own quiz. And then after the quiz, you're going to complete a classwork assignment on Blackboard. So, I like to model that. So you go to Blackboard. And when you go to Blackboard, you're just going to go to assignments. Okay, and then this is the Unit 2 calendar packet and assignments, and it's up here, classwork September 24 and 25. After you finish the quiz, begin classwork assignment, complete in spiral notebook, show all work to receive credit. So it's just 10 additional questions like we just practiced together. Okay.